Hey guys, it's Megan. I know it's been a hot minute. I don't know if this episode will air before or after the other episode that I did today. So maybe it hasn't been that long since you've heard from me, but it's been a while since you have heard from me alone. And so here we are. I don't know why I allow so much time to pass. I get caught up in my own mind and in my own world. And my mind allows me to let the world distract me because, for whatever reasons, as much as I love being on here and talking and sharing and expressing myself, and especially the connections that come on the other side of you all hearing the episode and then reaching out and you sharing with me. I love that space. I love how I feel. I feel so energized and excited. And then life happens. So it is what it is, right? We fall off, we get back up, and we keep going, and we get caught up and we move forward again. So I want to talk to you today about some of the things that I have been navigating. And as always, pretty please, if you have any insights, if you share any of these things, please share with me. Leave comments, email me. Check out the brand new website that Zach has diligently been building for us for a while, and it is now live, ready to go. And it's also where I will be sharing some of my writings. So there's a blog section, our in-person events that we create for our tribe to gather. So if you happen to be in the Houston area, definitely look at our gatherings. And also, if you're interested in sitting with us with Bufo, we have a sacred medicine space. And I haven't really told anybody, but I became certified as a nutritional herbologist, and I'm on track to become a master herbalist. My passion is in our nutrition and eating holistically in a way that supports us mind, body, and spirit, and to teach people how easy it can be to feed our bodies well. If that sounds in any way interesting to you, if you're dealing with any sort of health things that you would like to discuss and maybe find some ways to tweak some of your dietary things that I can help you with, please reach out. You can also find that on the website. So, thenewtribe.org. Thank you so much to Zach for building this beautiful space. I'm also having him put in like a forum space where we can chat and connect, more like a old school messaging forum, because social media is just not the thing. I'm not into it. I've had a really, really hard time being on it. I love it and appreciate it for its purposes, but beyond that, it hasn't been my vibe for a while, and I really try. But it is so important to me that we do have a space where we can all connect and congregate and share. And so that is also on the newtribe.org website. So please go check it out. Okay, so by the time this is posted, I will have already gone through my surgery. But as of today, I am, like 5 days out from having an explant surgery. I've decided, actually, 2 years ago, I felt a very powerful calling to have my breast implants removed. At that point in time, I wasn't in the greatest place to have surgery. I wasn't really settled in my life enough to go through surgery and recovery. We were very transient. We were getting ready to move out of our home in Dallas. And so it just wasn't the time for me to do surgery. But I felt a very strong call from within my body to have my implants removed. And over the last 2 years since that calling began, I have definitely experienced some health things which prove why my body was saying, hey, girl, let's get rid of these things. And it's been a little bit, I will admit, of a journey getting my mind adjusted to it because nobody asked for all this information, but I'm going to give it to you. So I always had large breasts, even from like when I was 14. Right after puberty, those bad boys inflated to double D's, and it just became a part of myself, right? That was how I knew my body. And then by the time I was 27, I had 3 babies, breastfed for accumulation of about 7 years. And when I weaned my daughter, my breast tissue just went with the milk. They all evaporated, dried up. Um, it doesn't happen to everyone, but it certainly happened to me. So after my breast tissue disappeared from pregnancy and breastfeeding, I spent about 2 years waiting to see how I felt because in my mind, getting implants was an option. It wasn't like an option that I particularly wanted, but over 2 years, I really felt into it and I felt so foreign inside my own body at that time. I didn't feel like it was my body because I'd always had large breasts. And so that's what felt normal to me. So I decided to get my implants. And now, coming up on 9 years later, it's time for them to go, which I'm very grateful for. I am grateful that, I've had this experience of really being able to tune in and connect to my body on an even deeper level where I now am more focused and more intentional about the function and the health and the state of being that my body is in than the aesthetic aspect or the way that my mind or my past experiences tell me my body should be, right? I did not realize how much of an impact the implants would have on my body when I got them. I had never heard of breast implant illness until 2 years after I had my implants put in. And it started like kind of becoming a conversation in the public media. And at that point, I had to kind of just turn my head because I was like, well, I just had these things put in 2 years ago. I can't go and take them out now. Um, but now it's been 9 years. It's time for them to go. So that will happen in like 5 days. I've been very nervous facing the surgery because last time I had surgery was my hysterectomy. And following my hysterectomy, I had a pulmonary embolism. And although the embolism was pretty anomalous and incredibly unlikely to happen again, and I recognized that it was a massive awakening for me, it was necessary to get me on the right path at that point in my life. It's still something that myself and my body are having to navigate the fears that I hold about going to surgery again. However, I know that the long-term impact of removing the implants from my body will be far greater than allowing the fear to cause me to reserve moving into the space of surgery. So this is one of those things where I just have to step in it and trust it and have faith that, this is something that I feel very strongly is important for me to do and to do it and to trust that it's the right thing. So everything's going to be good. So with that being said, I have been really deeply in this space of navigating through these feelings and thoughts and all of the things. associated with surgery and my body changing and all of that. But all in all, at the end of the day, I trust the decision. I trust the surgeon that I've chosen, and I trust that this is the best thing for me and for my family, because one of the biggest breast implant illness symptoms that I have experienced that I did not realize was something I was experiencing was or is brain fog. Brain fog, like fatigue, just I hear myself speak and I don't always know how to string sentences together. If you guys watch me on my stories, or I don't ever listen to these podcasts, so I don't know how Zach edits it, but maybe some of the he leaves in some of the times where I'm like, wait, what's the word I'm trying to think of? And I know that it's in there, but I can't find it. And I feel like that has gotten progressively worse over the years. And I have read lots of stories of women, especially in like some Facebook groups where women explant and share their stories of symptoms resolving. And there's a tremendous amount of women who experience massive improvements in memory, um, their energy levels, their emotional state. As you guys know, I've always struggled with anxiety. And over the last like 7, 8 years, I've done so much work and I have really overcome it in tremendous ways. And I can feel in my body that I don't resonate in that anxious state the way that I used to. However, the anxious thoughts certainly still make their way in. And I know that to a degree, that's normal, right? Like it's going to happen. But I am excited to see how my anxiety might change. Um, for me, it's pretty much just like catastrophic thinking, things that I recognize that I cannot know and have zero control over. So why am I stressing about it, right? Don't worry. And so I live with like both sides of the coin, very present in my mind. It's like, here's this catastrophe happening, unfolding in my mind, and my brain's like telling me all these things could happen. But I'm also acutely aware of the fact that I have nothing to do with that. I can't control it. I can't prevent anything. And I just have to trust that all will be well. Um, and also like digestive issues. I've never ever dealt with any kind of digestive issue. I have always eaten very well. Thankfully, that is one thing that my mom brought us up with. She was also an herbalist, and we learned how to eat for our body's needs. I learned what to eat, how to eat, to take my time, chew my food well. My girlfriends used to tease me because we would always have a girls' night dinner every Tuesday night years ago. And I was always the last person eating because I ate very slowly. And regardless of the fact that none of my eating habits have changed significantly, the way that my body processes food has changed significantly. The way that it receives food has changed. There's just a lot of changes that I have chalked up to aging, right? I'm 36 now, so your girl's getting up there. And it just happens. But I also believe that our bodies are always, always, always moving towards health. Like we are programmed to be healthy. Our bodies are designed, like our DNA is a written out program that replicates over and over and over again. And the external influences from both our environment and the foods that we put into our body can alter those genetic influences and turn genes on and off and change things within our body. But we are always trying to get back to health. And the way that I see that in my mind is like the salmon swimming upstream to get back to the spawning grounds, right? Like, doesn't matter what is in his way, he's going back to where he came from. And our bodies are always trying to go back to where we came from in a state of health. And so my body has been through a lot with my hysterectomy, the amount of illness that I had for 15 years leading up to the hysterectomy, and then the embolism afterwards, and all the things. And I know that my body is always trying to find its way back to a state of health. And I know that I have done so well through all of these experiences because of the way that I take care of it and the influences that I can control the impact of, like what I put into it, which is why the digestive issues have not made sense to me over the last couple of years, because it's just not typical for me. And I really thought that maybe it was just my hormones. And then I started learning more about the breast implant illness. So I'm very excited to remove the implants and allow my body to come back to a state of wellness. So as much as I'm looking forward to this experience, I've also been extremely nervous about having surgery. And I've been navigating through that. Life in general is crazy. We have been in our house for a year and a half, and every single time something is repaired, something else breaks, which makes me nervous because we just had our AC unit completely replaced yesterday. So right now, everything's functioning, nothing's leaking, and I'm a little bit nervous to see what's going to happen. And we're in the middle of this like wild eclipse portal. So, what's one more thing? Who knows? All of that to be said, I have been trying my best to stay centered and recognize that everything that is happening outside of me is a reflection of what is happening inside of me. And I'm acutely aware of the fact that there's a little bit of turmoil, some choppy waters happening inside of me because of the things that I'm navigating. And naturally, right, the laws of the universe dictate that as I am projecting my internal reality into the external reality, my internal experience is going to be reflected back to me through my external experience. So why not have the air conditioner break in the middle of August in Texas? And why not have the warranty company be absolute garbage and refuse to even show up to do the job? And then on the occasions that they do show up, they send an incompetent and incapable technician who I'm not even sure was an actual HVAC technician. And why wouldn't they deny the repairs? And why wouldn't I have to go through endless hell being trapped inside of the call thing where all you can do is press a button and get sent to another option where you can just press more buttons? And this is what I realized, that is my hell. You can't get a person on the phone. And so eventually I decided to just break the cycle and step outside of the chaos and just call an AC company and stop hoping that our warranty company was going to, do their job, hold up their end of the contract. So once I catch my breath a little bit from that, I'm going to dive into a Better Business Bureau claim or complaint or whatever. But you know what? It'll all be fine, because at the end of the day, it's always fine. I've been through shit with a house before. I've been through stress and fearful experiences before. And guess what? Always been fine. Everything's been good. And gotten to the other side of them. Everything works out one way or another. This was my motto as Austin and I were raising little babies, and he made very little money in those years early in his career. And I was home alone with them all the time and pinching pennies like you would not believe. And every time something come up, I just said, it has to work out, so it will. And that's what I've always put my faith in. It has to work out, so it will. I don't know how. That's not for me to decide. I just know that it will. And it always has. So I have a lot of anecdotal proof that it has to work out, so it will. It won't always work out the way that I might most desire it to. But everything finds its resolution. The water always finds its level, no matter what. And so my faith is in that. My trust is in that. And I'm just trying to remember to breathe and come back to my center and focus on the moment that I'm in and this present space and look forward to the moments to come and be grateful for all of the blessings that have come from the challenges, because certainly there are always blessings attached to the challenges. We just often overlook them because we focus so hyperfixated on the challenge themselves. But challenges exist to bring us blessings, because how much would we appreciate a blessing if it came all wrapped up in a cute little basket with a bow delivered by a stork if we didn't have a little challenge that made us really appreciate it, right? So that's what's been going on here. And I'm assuming it'll be a few weeks before I come back to podcast again as I'm recovering. But I am putting this out there now, so I will be held to it. As soon as I'm feeling well enough through my recovery, I will come back and share with you all my experiences on the other side of surgery and whatever possibly, hopefully, immediate resolutions I find with these symptoms. Another one I meant to mention that lots of ladies have said they noticed right away was an improvement in their vision. And my vision has always stayed pretty consistent. A little bit of farsightedness, astigmatisms in both eyes, but for the most part, it's remained the same. I could get by without glasses or contacts pretty well. The last couple of years, that is not really the case. And there's been some concerning things happening within my eyeballs. And so I'm really excited to see if the inflammation resolves these things, because lots of ladies have said that one of the first things they noticed was that their vision cleared. So if you pray, please pray for me. If you send good vibes, please send good vibes to me. And I look forward to coming back on the other side and sharing with you guys how my experience was. So thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for always being around and supporting this passion project of mine. The New Tribe is such an important little space because I know how important community is and human connection is. And I value my ability to offer that. And my desire is to be able to offer more in-depth connection, more gatherings, more community and communication. And this website is one step closer to being able to cultivate that space. So I hope to see you over there. And if you have any thoughts or questions or anything that you would like to discuss or to hear my take on, leave a comment, send me an email, and I would love to dive into your things. Okay, guys, have a great rest of your day or evening. Drive safe. enjoy your walk or whatever it is you're doing. Maybe you're in the kitchen cooking up something delicious. I hope that is what you're doing. And as always, go with love.